One woman wrote just 11 words in a newspaper and lost everything because of them. She was a rising actress with superhero movies and a $50 million future ahead. But those 11 words triggered a lawsuit that the whole world watched. And most people cheering the verdict never read those words. Her name was Amber Heard, and this trial made her the most hated woman on the internet. But here's what nobody talks about. In 2020, a UK court said Johnny Depp abused her in 12 proven incidents. Yet by 2022, the world called her the liar. On TikTok, hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp got 20.4 billion views. Hashtag Justice for Amber Heard got only 88 million. That's not a difference. That's a massacre. The trial cost her $10 million, her career, and her country. Today she lives in Spain under a fake name, raising her daughter alone. This is how one trial collapsed a woman's entire reputation. Let's go back to who she was, before the world decided to hate her. Before the trial and before the hate. There was a completely different story. Amber Heard was a woman on her way up in Hollywood, not a nobody hoping for a chance, already becoming a somebody. Born in 1986 in Austin, Texas to a regular family. At just 16 years old, Amber dropped out of high school and moved to Los Angeles alone. No connections, no famous family to help. The start was small, tiny TV roles and random music videos that paid almost nothing. But the work kept coming because of pure effort. In 2008, Pineapple Express became the breakout role that won her a Young Hollywood Award. By 2011, The Rum Diary put her next to Johnny Depp for the first time. In 2017, DC cast her as Mira in Justice League. Aquaman in 2018 made over $1.1 billion worldwide. Officially a superhero star. But acting wasn't the only identity anymore. Amber became an ACLU volunteer and a UN Human Rights Ambassador. Activism, fame, and a $50 million career path all lined up perfectly. Then one relationship changed everything. The Rum Diary introduced her to the man who would later unravel everything she built. Amber Heard was 24 years old when filming The Rum Diary with Johnny Depp. Depp was 48, more than twice her age. The two became close on set and started a relationship. But there was one big problem with that. Johnny Depp was already in a long relationship with Vanessa Paradis for 14 years. Vanessa was the mother of his 2 children, but Depp left her to be with Amber instead. The media immediately attacked Amber with labels: homewrecker, gold digger, fame hunter. In 2015, the two got married in a private ceremony. Only 15 months later, on May 25, 2016, Amber filed for divorce. 2 days after that, on May 27, 2016, a restraining order was filed in court. Amber walked into the courthouse with visible bruises on her face. The claim was shocking. Depp threw an iPhone at her during a drug and alcohol rage. Depp's lawyer responded immediately and called it a choreographed hoax for money. The public split right down the middle, and some believed her, most didn't. That small split would soon become a massive war. The divorce was finalized and both moved on with their lives. But then Amber made one decision that changed everything. In 2018, 2 years after the divorce, Amber wrote about what happened. On December 18, 2018, the Washington Post published an op-ed written by Amber. The title read, "I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath." Inside that article, Amber never mentioned Johnny Depp's name, not even once in the entire piece. But there was one sentence that triggered everything. 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse. 2 years before, 2018 was 2016, the exact year of the restraining order and divorce. Everyone reading that article knew exactly who the target was. In March 2019, Depp responded by filing a $50 million defamation lawsuit. The claim was simple: that op-ed eroded his entire career. Depp's legal team said Disney fired him from Pirates of the Caribbean because of those words. But the truth was different. Disney had already stepped back from Depp in 2016. The facts didn't matter anymore, though. The lawsuit was officially filed and moving forward. But here's something most people forget about. The lawsuit was filed in America, but the first trial didn't happen there. It happened in a UK court, and Amber actually won that case. In 2020, a major trial happened in London's High Court. Johnny Depp sued the Sun newspaper for calling him a wife-beater in print. Amber Heard testified as a witness in that case. The trial lasted weeks with mountains of evidence presented to the judge. Testimonies, photos, medical records, and text messages, all examined carefully. On November 2, 2020, the verdict came out. Judge Andrew Nichol found that 12 out of 14 alleged abuse incidents were substantially true. The court concluded that Amber was left in fear for her life multiple times. The Sun was legally justified in calling Depp a wife-beater. Depp lost the case, legally proven to have committed abuse. Warner Brothers asked him to resign from the Fantastic Beasts franchise immediately after. Depp was canceled, and Amber was vindicated by the court. But then the American trial started, and everything flipped completely. A UK court said Depp abused her with proof, but the American trial was different in one major way. Unlike the UK, this case would be decided by 7 ordinary citizens, not a judge. And that one was televised, live-streamed, and turned into entertainment for millions. On April 11, 2022, the defamation trial started in Fairfax County, Virginia. And from the very first second, it was live-streamed for the entire world to watch. Every word, every reaction, every moment. Broadcast live. This wasn't just a trial anymore, and this was a show designed for millions of viewers. Depp's legal team knew exactly what they were doing by allowing cameras inside. The trial was broadcast live on YouTube, Law and Crime Network, and Court TV. Clips from the courtroom flooded TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram within minutes. Billions of views piled up and millions of people formed opinions immediately. But here's the problem. None of them watched the full evidence. Depp's massive global fan base tuned in every single day. They didn't see a legal proceeding with rules and evidence. They saw their hero being attacked by a woman on live TV. And they decided to fight back. Online, loudly and viciously. The trial was happening inside a Virginia courtroom. But the real war was being fought somewhere else entirely. On social media, where facts don't matter as much as loyalty. TikTok became the main battlefield for public opinion during the trial. The hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp reached 20.4 billion views. The hashtag Justice for Amber Heard only reached 88 million views. That massive gap wasn't organic support from real people. It was coordinated, planned, and pushed by something bigger. A research group called Bot Sentinel investigated and released a shocking report in July 2022. They called it one of the worst cases of cyberbullying and cyberstalking they had ever seen. The investigation found 627 Twitter accounts created solely to attack Amber Heard. These weren't real fans, they were bots and coordinated harassment campaigns. The conservative outlet The Daily Wire spent $47,000 promoting anti-Amber content on Facebook and Instagram. This wasn't angry fans defending their favorite actor anymore. This was funded, organized, and targeted to demolish one person. But the cruelest weapon wasn't the bots or the money. It was the way millions of people mocked her testimony in real time. Amber Heard testified in court for 4 full days. During that time, she described physical assaults and sexual violence in graphic detail. She talked about a bottle penetration incident in Australia where she feared for her life. These were serious allegations of abuse and trauma, but the internet had a very different reaction. Amber cried on the stand while describing what happened to her. She broke down emotionally multiple times during her testimony, but millions of people online said she was acting and faking everything. TikTok creators analyzed her facial expressions frame by frame like a movie scene. They accused her of copying scenes from films to fake her emotions. People claimed she was fake crying because no actual tears fell from her eyes. Body language experts, as many with no real credentials, dissected every gesture she made. Millions of people watched those videos and millions more mocked her pain. Her trauma wasn't taken seriously. It became entertainment instead. Jokes about Amber Heard turd and memes about my dog stepped on a bee went viral everywhere. No cross-examination, no appeal, just millions laughing. The mockery spread faster than any fact or evidence ever could. And then came the moment that ended everything, June 1st, 2022, the day the verdict was read and her career effectively ended. After nearly 2 days of deliberation, the jury finally returned with their decision. 7 people had decided the fate of both careers. The jury found both of them guilty of defamation. Only one of them paid the price. The verdict for Amber Heard, guilty of defamation with actual malice. All 3 counts against her, guilty. The jury said Amber defamed Johnny Depp by writing about domestic abuse in her op-ed. This happened despite a UK court already proving that Depp abused her. The damages were announced immediately after. $10 million in compensatory damages and $5 million in punitive damages. The punitive amount was reduced to $350,000 due to Virginia state law. Total, Amber owed $10.35 million to Johnny Depp. Amber did win $2 million on one part of her countersuit claim. But the world didn't see it that way at all. Everyone called it a total victory for Depp and a crushing defeat for Heard. That means both lied, or both told partial truths. But only Amber was branded a liar by the public. The verdict damaged her legally in that courtroom. But the real destruction went far beyond the court. It killed her career, her endorsements, and her entire future in Hollywood. Within hours of the verdict, the backlash exploded everywhere. A Change.org petition to remove her from Aquaman 2 hit 4.5 million signatures. Warner Brothers didn't fire her, but they gutted her role to less than 10 minutes. L'Oreal dropped her as brand ambassador in August 2023. An industry expert said she lost $45 to $50 million in potential earnings. Her net worth dropped from $8 million to just $2.5 million. No studio would touch her, and no brand would hire her. So she did the only thing left. She fled America. On December 19, 2022, Amber announced she was settling the case. Her insurance company paid $1 million to Depp to end everything. She wrote online, "My life as I knew it was destroyed." Amber moved to Spain, first to Mallorca, then to Madrid. She started using a fake name, Martha Jane Canary, the real name of Wild West outlaw Calamity Jane. She purchased a €1.5 million home to raise her daughter Una away from cameras. Every night she puts her daughter to sleep, while the internet still makes jokes about her pain. Amber hasn't worked in a major production since Aquaman 2. In May 2023, she gave an interview in Spain and said, "I love living here." When asked if she'd return to Hollywood, she said, "I'm in no hurry." Translation: never. Her acting career is over and her public image irreversibly damaged. From rising star to exile in Spain. From $50 million trajectory to $2.5 million net worth. From actress to the most hated woman on the internet. All because of one trial. And the algorithm that amplified it. The trial didn't just rule against Amber Heard, it effectively ended her publicly. A UK court proved Depp abused her in 12 incidents. But the world called her a liar. Why? Because the American trial was televised, memed, and monetized. Truth didn't matter. Narrative did. And she lost. Amber Heard is 39 years old now, living in Madrid under a fake name. Her career is over and her image shattered forever. The trial turned testimony into memes and public opinion into a weapon. In the age of live streams, truth doesn't win trials. Stories do. So, do you believe her, believe him, or believe the system failed both? Drop your answer below.